All right. Well, welcome to Kerrick's biased opinion on investing in Cape Coral real estate for the purposes of short-term rentals. I've had a little bit of interesting experiences in the last couple of weeks there with some folks out of town looking to do just that. And I feel like it's important to understand the idea. Now, I understand that pretty much because the growing trend with Airbnb and VRBO that lots of people are just they're going on short-term rentals and doing renting houses rather than hotels and and inns and that type of thing there. But I think that it's important if you're really looking at it from a good review standpoint and you really want it to cash flow well for you. I think it's important to really consider the location. Now, Cape Coral as a whole, and mind you, let me back up here for a second. I lived in Cape Coral. That was my home for a good solid 14 years. Okay, and so I've got nothing but great things to say about it. But I think it's important to understand that Cape Coral is where a lot of people, majority of people live there full time. Population there, full time residents there, I believe are it's about 203,000, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that, but I believe the census number is somewhere in that neighborhood. So it's important to understand that you not every place really lends itself to the ideal short-term rental candidate. So let's take a look. If you're looking at my mouse here, like I'll give you an example. You know, you have to think about if you're going to buy something, you're going on. You have to think about it. Where would you want to be on vacation when you go? Right? You want to be near attractions, or you want to be near waterfront. You want to be near, say charter fishing. A boat ramp. Those types of things. There, right? Beaches, of course. Now, right now, beaches are still a little bit scarred up because of Hurricane Ian, but we have to kind of just use our imagination. That's not always going to be like that. And we can talk about that in another time. But so I would consider, if you're looking at my mouse, I think the first places that if I'm going to buy something, these are the places I'm going to look at. I'm going to look at around here, in the Southwest near the water frontage. I like being near Marina Village, Tarpon Point, Cape Harbor. Those are the higher end. There's some restaurants and attractions there. Marinas are down there, so you can. I believe there's a couple of water taxi services that will take you over to like Picnic Island and some other areas, near the beaches, Sanibel and that type of stuff there too. So excursions, those types of things generally run out of those two marinas there. Okay. Yacht Club right now, the yacht club is still kind of beat up. They took probably the brunt of it. It's a very low lying area. That's the very first phase. Everything that was there was built originally in the 60s. They didn't elevate the houses like they do now. So, still a lot of damage, that residual damage there. The yacht club park itself is still closed. Now, I understand that the restaurant, the boathouse, Tiki Hut, the boathouse. I understand that down in the yacht club is going to open. I think sometime in June of 2023. This is May at the time of this recording. So that's progress. But I could tell you, I was there last week, and it still didn't look like there was anything happening anytime soon. There, it was a lot of construction, a lot of cleanup work still happening, some damaged boats still floating up on land, and what have you. So give it time and it's going to change. That being said, if I'm going to think about buying something that is a good Airbnb or VRBO candidate, I'd like to be close to the first of the I'd like to be close to the river, near the water frontage. If you follow around here, I like the Eight Lakes area there. Those are all Gulf access. Down near Rotary Park, the Rose Garden area by Tarpon Point, Marina Village, where the Westin is. Pinter's Crab Shack is down there too, and there's a nice restaurant and a waterfront. I think it's called the Naughty Mermaid or Naughty Parrot. One of those used to be called Marker 97, I believe. But at any rate, it's the there's it's a waterfront bar right on the basin there. That's a nice spot. So I think anything that's near some of the local attractions there, easy access to Fort Myers Beach and Sanibel, that's going to be your first choice if you're going to invest in Cape Coral. Second, I would say if you do want to go further, a little bit further north, I also like this area near Matlacha Isles, getting close to Matlacha. Now, I will say this: Matlacha is not pretty to look at right now. It's they got hit pretty hard from the hurricane, so there's still a lot of damage there. So we have to get past that. I'd say they're probably realistically still a good couple of years out before everything's fully back to normal. But the good thing is because it's the community itself is resilient. I think that people want to get themselves back together again. So give it time, it will get there. Okay, so uh, properties around here, if you're along the north spreader here, these are good pieces of waterfront property. Now, one thing to consider: once you get past up to here, it seems a lot quieter when you get further inland, and this is why I'm a little bit biased on investing beyond my favorite areas there. Okay, North Cape, even though lots have built up over the years, overall it is still a very barren area. And by barren, I mean that there's not a whole lot of foliage. There's still a lot of vacant land, and the land is all cleared out. You don't have a whole lot of trees. There's no forestry or anything like that. It's not like what you would expect, further inland, or what you'd see like maybe in like say Golden Gate Estates or East Fort Myers. Some of the areas or Alva or any of those areas that are further inland east of 75. Not like that. This is all cleared out, so I mean you can actually see a little bit of it. Now it's quiet. If you're looking to buy something to live there full time, you get a lot more for your money in the North Cape there, but your services are a little bit fewer and far between. Um, so that's my biased take on that, if you will. If you have other questions about it, overall, I think Cape Coral is a great area to buy in. I think there's a lot of great opportunities. You do get a lot of house for your money, but I would say if you're going to be doing it for that reason, I'd be a little bit more strategic, just because I think if the winds do shift, really you got to take a look at what areas are actually going to hold their value better than over the long term. These areas by like JC Park, Savona, Palaco Grande, Beach Parkway area, areas like that. Those I think lend themselves to more of the seasonal vacation renter type stuff there. Same with the yacht club once it gets its situated back together again. Down here in the South Pelican area, Eight Lakes area, all these areas south of Cape Coral Parkway, I like those a lot. And the Surfside area, I like that a lot too. Um, so if you have questions, feel free to reach out 239-340-1468, and it's kerrickwhite.com. Thank you so much, and let's connect again soon.